Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Today we're here to talk about 2024 book releases that I am very excited for. I do one of these every single year, and then when seasons come I break that up as well, because obviously I'm not going to mention every book because there are some that I forgot. There's some I missed. There's some that have not been quite announced yet. So that's why I like to do them throughout the year. But this is kind of my big, broad list of books that I'm looking forward to that are releasing in 2024. There's a lot of them. I have my laptop for notes. Will I know exactly what all of them are about? No, I'll link them down below for you to look at. So let's get into it because, like I said, there's a lot of them. Starting off in January, on January 2nd, we have Last Call at the Local by Sarah Grunder Ruiz. And this one, the cover really intrigued me. It's just a cutesy cover. This is the track when a free-spirited American singer-songwriter with ADHD teams up with a charming Irishman to revitalize his family's pub in this heartfelt romance. It just sounds cute. Do I think it's going to be amazing? Probably not, but it sounds really cute, and I'm always up for a good palate cleanser romance any day of the week. Then we have The Breakup Tour by Emily Wibberley and Austin C. Mabroka coming out January 23rd. These two they still write YA contemporary fiction, which I've read a few of them, and they're now kind of into the adult romance genre. They've released two so far. One I've really liked, one I haven't. This one is being very much compared to Taylor Swift. Like, the cover looks exactly like Taylor Swift. And basically, it's about a girl named Riley who went to be like just an aspiring singer-songwriter, and then she became a mega superstar overnight. It has her breakup song concept album. That's what the big thing of it is. Well, like Taylor Swift, you know what I'm saying? Riley's ex-husband claims that this is all because of him. She wrote it because of him, so he should get some, rewards or something because she got her material from him. But really, it's not about him. Calls up her ex-boyfriend Max, her college ex-boyfriend, who's the real inspiration behind the album and the songs and stuff like that, to go public as her songwriting muse. He agrees on one condition, that he'll join on her band on tour. So I'm guessing he plays some sort of musical instrument. And says as they perform across the country, Max and Riley start to realize while they hit some wrong notes in the past, the future could hold incredible things. So it's definitely like a very Taylor Swift inspired book. You got the kind of whole breakup, it's cute. The cover intrigues me, and I will definitely be reading this one. Everyone's most anticipated release, and that is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is her third book. I don't know if it's her final one in her Crescent City series. I have read the first one, House of Earth and Blood, and I loved it. I have not yet read the second one. I will try to this year because I would like to read them both, but maybe that'd be great. If this is the series finale, I don't know. You can let me know. I do know there have been talks that it's kind of being intertwined with her ACOTAR series, which intrigues me greatly, so I need to get on it. I have to. For January, the cover really got me on this one, and then I read the synopsis and I was like, yes, I have to read this. And that is Midnight on Beacon Street by Ruth Verona, also coming out on January 30th. So this is October 1993. One night, one house, one dead body. When single mom Eleanor goes out for a much-needed date night, she leaves her two young children, 6-year-old Ben and 12-year-old Mira, in capable hands of their sitter Amy. She's a 17-year-old who is good at looking children despite her who is good at looking after children despite her anxiety disorder. She also loves movies, especially horror flicks. Amy likes the predictability. It calms the panic that threatens to overwhelm her. The evening starts out normally enough with games, pizza, and dancing, but as darkness falls, events in this quaint suburban New Jersey house take a terrifying turn. Unexpected visitors at the door, mysterious phone calls, and by midnight, little Ben is in the kitchen standing in a pool of blood with a dead body at his feet, chock full of nods to classic horror films of the 70s and 80s. I'm gonna be honest with you, the synopsis literally terrifies me. It sounds like a literal nightmare of mine, but it sounds kind of old school horror, so I'm very intrigued and also very nervous. On to February, we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood coming out February 6th. This is very different from all of Ali Hazelwood's books. If you know Ali Hazelwood, she writes romance, particularly women in STEM. That's kind of her shtick. I have read a few of her books. I enjoy them. I will admit I feel stupid because I am not a STEM lover when it comes to science and math. My whole body, my whole brain, it just goes on to question, like it's just what? So this one is very different because it's about vampires. But what do we know about me other than that I love anything that has to do with vampires? So it says this one, as a dangerous alliance between a vampire bride and an alpha werewolf becomes a love deep enough to sink your teeth into in this new paranormal romance. Yes, yes. I'm so excited for this one. The cover's different. The synopsis is different. Anything with vampires. Oh, I'm really excited. I really want to see what she's going to do with this. Then I have The Catch by Amy Lee coming out on February 13th. This one very much reminds me of It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This one's about a Boston fashion influencer named Melanie who finds herself in a rural fishing village on the east coast of Canada. And then she meets this burly and bearded bed and breakfast owner and fisherman, Evan, who single-handedly disproves the theory that Canadians are nice, which is hilarious. And it says, after a boating accident lands Evan unconscious in the hospital, Mel is mistaken for fiance who have been in a standing feud over the B&B. In a bold attempt to mend the family fences, Mel agrees to fake engagement for 1 week in exchange for Evan's help with her social media content. So, you know, you got kind of a burly guy, a very like socialite kind of girl. It very much sounds like It Happened One Summer, which I really enjoyed. So it sounds really cute, and I will definitely be reading it. Speaking of Tessa Bailey, we have a new one from her, Fangirl Down. This is about a character named Wells, who was a famous golfer. Like, he was awesome, and then but lately all he has to show for his career is a killer hangover, a collection of broken clubs, and one remaining supporter. Basically, no matter how bad he plays, there's always this redhead on the sidelines. She is just like the best fan ever, pretty much. But when he quits in a blaze of glory, and his fangirl goes home, he knows he made the greatest mistake of his life. So her name is Josephine, and I think basically he wants to go back to golfing, and she's like, I'll help you, you know, I'll be your caddy. It sounds very odd. I'm not really also into golfing. Like, I don't mind sports romances. I'm a baseball girl. But golf, I don't get it. But I'm going to check it out. I do enjoy Tessa Bailey. She's wronged me a few times in the past lately, but I will read her books. And also on February 13th, we have Hannah Tate Beyond Repair by Laura Piper Lee. This one, the cover really intrigued me, and then the synopsis. It's about a girl named Hannah Tate, and she's sleep deprived, and then she finds this hidden engagement ring in her closet, and her boyfriend and the father of her baby, she's like, oh my gosh, she's gonna propose to me, it's gonna be great. And then he's like, no, that ring was not for you. And so she decides to take her son, and she moves in with her mom and stepfather in Georgia. And then basically, I think it says that her parents' cabin's vacation property has gold written all over it, and it could save her mom from going broke. And then the cabin's decor is not good, so she hires a hot carpenter, and you can guess what happens from there. It's about a woman starting over, and I really enjoy that because I'm a mom myself. You know, it's hard being a mom, and then you throw a relationship on top of it. It's just, you know, it's a hard dynamic. Her starting fresh, and I'm excited to see how she's gonna go from that. And then we have a new Olivia Dade book. It's called First Spite, and this is about a character named Athena whose fiance ends their engagement. Feel that it's back to back, kind of weird like that. So she moves into Spite House. This is a house that she bought him recklessly as a wedding gift. It's like a horrible house. The house is originally built as a brick middle finger to the neighbors. It's only 10 feet wide. Her ex's home is attached to hers, and Dr. Matthew Vine, aka the judgmental jerk who convinced his younger brother to leave her, like her, who was being her future brother-in-law, is living on the other side. And so she has to see him every day. And then, so she says she's going to have fun with the situation. She's going to play erotic audiobooks at top volume with the windows open. A woman living in Spite House, basically obligated to get petty payback however she can, right? Unfortunately, Lonely Matthew proves to be more difficult than anticipated. He helps her move, he listens, and he's kind of hot. And then it just says, damn it. It sounds like it's going to be really cute. It's going to be like a hate to love, but also maybe kind of not. It sounds really fun, and I'm very intrigued by it. I have A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. My notes. Okay, guys. February 27th. I did write notes for this one. This is about a shield maiden blessed by the gods battle to unite a nation under a power-hungry king, while also fighting for her growing desire for his fiery son in this North-inspired fantasy romance. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it, because that's all I want to know about it. Fantasy sometimes overwhelms me just thinking about it, because again, I'm not super smart. But this one, I love some good romantasy, like romance and fantasy, like I'll take that. So I'm excited. Moving on to March, the first up we have is Murder Road by Simone St. James, coming out March 5th. I love Simone St. James. Mystery thrillers with a little bit of paranormal aspect to them. I've read 3 of them, really enjoyed them. So this one just says, for a short tagline, a young couple finds themselves haunted by a string of gruesome murders committed along an old deserted road in this terrifying new novel. And it takes place in 1995, and it's about a couple. They take a wrong turn, and then they pick up a hitchhiker, and then they see that there's blood seeping from the jacket of the hitchhiker. So the hitchhiker dies at a local hospital. Now they find themselves involved in this like in the middle of this like murder investigation, because apparently a lot of people have died on this road, and they're like, what the heck? So yeah, it's something that could not only tear down the town and its dark secrets apart, but take Eddie and April down all with it. So I really like Simone St. James' books, so I'm excited about it. Then I have Happily Never After by Lynn Painter, coming out on March 12th. She is, again, another author that writes YA and adult, and this one's about a character named Sophie who finds out just before she's about to get married that her fiance has cheated. Again, she wants to call it out. But because her future father-in-law is her dad's cutthroat boss, she doesn't want to be the one to do it. So her savior comes in the form of a professional objector whose purpose is to show up at weddings. And, when they say, is there any reason why this couple should not be lovingly wed? Say, I object. Is there any objections? This guy is literally hired to be like, I object. And everybody's probably like, who the hell is this? And he's just like, bye. I don't know. But basically, they start working together, and she starts to be wanting in on it, and then they go to wedding, and then everything changes. A groom-to-be hires Sophie to object, but his fiance is the woman who broke Max's heart, which kind of got him started in the business. As Max wrestles with whether he can be a party to his ex getting hurt, Sophie grapples with the sudden realization that she may have fallen hard for her partner in crime. It just sounds like a fun book, honestly. Will it be taken too seriously? Probably not. Moving into April, we have The Rule Book by Sarah Adams, coming on April 2nd. This one is the companion novel to The Cheat Sheet. And so this one is college exes break all the rules when they reunite years later in this enemies to lovers second chance romance. So in The Cheat Sheet, it was about like an NFL guy and his best friend. This one's about another NFL guy, and I'm pretty sure we got Derek in the first book. I'm not 100% sure, but Sarah Adams writes clean romances, which they're just really cute and adorable, honestly. So I'm excited for this one. Abby Jimenez book coming out on April 2nd called Just for the Summer. And this cover is chef's kiss amazing. And this says Justin has a curse, and thanks to a Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. That's random. But each woman he dates goes on to find their soulmates the second they break up. Wasn't that a movie that had like Dane Cook in it? I think it was. I'm not sure. But when a woman slides in his DMs with the same problem, they'll come up with a plan. They date each other and break up. Their curses will cancel each other's out, and they'll both go on to find their love of their lives. It's a bonkers idea, and it just might work, is what it says. But basically, I think it says that I don't know. I think it's just going to be a fun one. I love her books. My favorite of hers will always be the Happy Ever After play, though, so I love that one. Then we have the only YA book on this list, and that is the Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, coming out on April 2nd. She wrote the Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I enjoy. I have not finished the third one. I tried to, but I couldn't get into it, so moving on. This one's about 18-year-old Belle, who has lived her whole life in her shadows of her mom's mysterious disappearance. 16 years ago, Rachel Price vanished, and young Belle was the only witness, but she has no memory of it because she was probably a baby. The case is dragged out from the past when the Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end, for life to go back to normal, and then the impossible happens. Rachel Price reappears, and life will never be normal again. So we have somebody coming back. It's kind of odd. It's kind of weird. She's like, what happened? I know what happened, but I can't remember it. So I love a good YA mystery thriller. There's not a lot of them, but I do enjoy them. Then we have my favorites of all favorites, Emily Henry's new book, Funny Story, coming out on April 23rd. I'll be honest, I have no clue what this is about. We're going to read this together for the first time. When I see Emily Henry, I just say, bye immediately. Daphne always loved the way her fiance Peter told their story of how they met, fell in love, and moved back to a lakeside town, which is he was really good at telling it right up until the moment he realized that he was actually in love with his childhood best friend Petra, which is how Daphne begins her new story. She's stranded in this beautiful Wayne Bay, Michigan, without family and friends, and she has a dream job as the children's librarian, and Proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles. So Daphne's fiance, Peter, decided that he was not in love with Daphne anymore. He was actually really in love with his childhood best friend, Petra. Petra was seeing someone as well, and that's Miles. So basically the two exes get together. You can guess what's going to happen, but Emily Henry's going to make it beautiful, romantic, dramatic. I'm ready. We have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren coming out May 14th. And this is Anna Green, thought she was marrying Liam West for access to subsidized family housing while at UCLA. 3 years later, she also thought she signed divorce papers when the graduation caps were tossed, and they both went on their merry ways. 3 years later, she learns that, I think that she's still actually married. Liam won't see a penny until he's been happily married for 5 years, and so, I don't know. I think they got married for, like, money or something, you know? Like, you know, one of those green card type of things, and then, I don't know. Christina Lauren books, I do enjoy them. Lately, I haven't been, so this one I'm not super excited about, but I'm interested. Then we have Savorite by Tara DeWitt coming out May 21st. I read her book Funny Feeling this year. Loved it, so I'm very excited for this one. This is about Sage, who lives in Oregon, and she's learned to love her small world, and she has animals on her hobby farm. And then her 5-year relationship ends, and her ex suddenly gets engaged. She needs a win, and so she goes to the Festival of Spuns, the town's annual summer competition, and she needs a partner. And then Fisher is a hotshot chef. Basically, a deal is struck. Sage will improve Fisher's image but in the eyes of the town and remove roadblocks he is facing with the restaurant, and Fisher will be Sage's partner for the competition. You know, with a lot of these romance books, you can clearly see what's going to happen 5 miles away. It's all about how it's written. It's all about the chemistry, and I really do enjoy Tara DeWitt's books. Then we have another spooky one. We have The House That Horror Built by Christina Henry coming out on May 14th. This cover, again, so freaking awesome. This is, Harry Adams has always loved horror movies, so it's not a surprise when she took like cleaning the house for this amazing horror movie director, Javier, and it's filled from top to bottom with terrifying props and costumes. Starts hearing noises from behind a locked door, noises that sound remarkably like a human voice calling for help, even though Javier lives alone and has never had visitors. Harry knows that not asking questions is a vital part of working for Javier, but she soon finds the sinister house may be home to secrets that she can ignore no longer. Sounds really good. I'm excited. Moving into June, we have The Romcoms by Catherine Center coming out June 11th. This is about Emma, who longs to be a screenwriter, and I don't know exactly what's going on, but Emma has to go to... She will convince him that love stories matter, even if she has to kiss him senseless to do it. But what if that kiss is accidentally amazing? What if real life turns out to be so much more the real than fiction? What if the love story they've been writing breaks all of Emma's rules? So I'm guessing they write a script. He's probably like, I don't believe in romances. And she's like, I do. And you know, you get where I'm going, but it's going to be cute. It's probably going to be amazing. Allie Hazelwood has another book coming out. Girl's killing it this year. Girl's killing it in 2024. Not in Love. This is another one of her women in STEM books. This one's about Rue, she's a biotech engineer, and we have her, and then we have Eli, who is business partners, I think. He really wants her, she doesn't want him, and it says torn between loyalty and an undeniable attraction, Rue and Eli will throw caution out the lab and out the boardroom windows. Their affair is secret, no strings attached, and its built-in deadline. The day one of their companies will prevail. So I think they got maybe opposing companies, something like that, but also biotech. I don't know, sounds fun. Then we have Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay coming out June 11th. I have not read a book by his. I haven't really been called to pick one of his up. None of his has really sounded intriguing to me until this one. The cover drew me in, and then the synopsis that says, June 1993, a group of young guerrilla filmmakers spend 4 weeks making horror movies, a disturbing art house horror flick. The weird part, only 3 of the film scenes were ever released to the public, but Horror Movie has nevertheless grown a rabid fan base. 3 decades later, Hollywood is pushing for a big budget reboot. The man who played the Thin Kid is the only surviving cast members. He remembers all too well the secrets buried within the original screenplay, the bizarre events of filming, and the dangerous lines crossed that resulted in tragedy. And so I think they go, but he's going to help remake the film, even if it means navigating a world of cynical producers, egomaniacal directors, and surreal fan conventions. Demons of the past be damned. So, creepy. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll be a big Paul Tremblay fan after this. So we have one of my favorite authors in that genre, and that is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager, coming out June 18th. I really enjoy his books. I didn't love his last two. The last one I did like. The one before that, oh gosh. But this one sounds interesting. It says it's about like this neighborhood that's like a quiet suburban neighborhood where you're like, nothing ever goes wrong. And then it says, one July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend neighbor fell asleep in a tent in the backyard, and Ethan woke up alone. During the night, someone had sliced the tent open with a knife and taken Billy, and he was never seen again. 30 years later, Ethan has now returned to his childhood home, and he's been plagued by bad dreams and insomnia, and he just feels like he can solve this case of where Billy went. And it says, the mysterious occurrences prompt Ethan to investigate what really happened that night, a quest that reunites him with his former friends and neighbors that leads him into a search in the woods. Super creepy and super scary, so, you know, why not? Then we have The Art of Catching Feelings by Alicia Thompson, coming out June 18th. Obviously what drew me to this was the cover. It's baseball. I love baseball. I'm a big Braves fan. Go Braves always. So this one's about Daphne, who hates baseball. She thinks it's boring. She thinks it's lame. She just doesn't like it. And so she heckles a lot on a certain baseball player online. It's like, you know what, I'm going to reach out to say she's sorry to this guy named Chris, who's a baseball player. And she does that, but she forgets to say that she is the heckler. And so he doesn't ever respond to fans, but he sees this one, and he feels a connection to her, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to reply back. And you can guess, obviously, where this is going, but it has baseball, it has cute romance, maybe steamy times. I am ready. Like, home run, hopefully. We have Business Casual by B.K. Borison. This is her fourth book in the Lovelight Farm series. It's a series of intertwining characters. This one follows Nova, who is the younger sister of our in the second book's main character. And then we have Charlie, who is the older brother in our first book's main character. So see how they're all kind of intertwined? It's kind of like a hate to love thing. It's super cute. It's like a small town romance. The first one's very Christmassy. The other ones, like I said, are super cute, steamy, and they're great small town reads. Then in September, we have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Medana, coming out September 10th. This is kind of the companion novel to The Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I loved, so I'm very much excited for this one. This is about Sarah, who is one of the most powerful witches in Britain. Now she resurrected her great aunt Jasmine from the dead. She lost most of her magic, and so now she helps her Aunt Jasmine run an inn where she deals with a quirky guest. And then she learns about an old spell book that helps her to restore power. So I'm guessing it's going to be quirky, fun, warm, and whimsical, and I am very excited for it. It's going to be a great fall read, and I'm already ready for it. Speaking of that, we have Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune, coming out September 10th. This is the sequel to House by the Cerulean Sea, which I love and adore. This one is a magical... I don't want to tell you too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but basically it's about like a house full of kind of like magical youth, and a caretaker comes in, and it's just so warm and wholesome that you need to read it. It's so freaking cute. I love it so much. So there you have all of the books I am excited to get to in 2024. Like I said, there's a lot of them. Will I read all of them? I don't know. I would like to hope I will. I really do. But I would love to know what books you're looking forward to coming out next year. Like I said, I'm sure I've missed some. A lot probably, but either way, leave them in the comments and I will add them to my list. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm excited for 2024 content for me to give it to you. Bye.